So how much can I get for a trade? Well, I don't think bananas are worth what you think they're worth. If shopping for a new car drives you bananas, head to Community Auto Group in Mason City. We have the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. And you know, with Community, you're getting a straightforward deal from a straightforward dealer. I'd like to buy this car. No? Seriously? Next time I'll skip the monkey business and go to Community Auto Group.
I'd like to thank all of you for coming here this afternoon. The press release we put out this morning had indicated that we'd had a significant breakthrough in a homicide investigation. I apologize for the vagueness of that report, but believe me, we did have reasons for doing so. So at this time, I'd kind of like to present you with a little background and where we're at this point. At approximately 8:18 a.m. on July 20th, 1994, John Joseph Snyder Sr. called 911 to contact the Mason City Police Department. Snyder advised that his 20-month-old son, John Joseph Snyder Jr., was missing from their apartment. John Snyder Jr. was the son of John Snyder Sr. and Lisa Selman. Selman at the time did not reside with Mr. Snyder, and he was the primary caretaker of John Jr. John Snyder and his son had moved into an apartment on 10 South Adams around the 1st of July the same year. Police officers were sent to Snyder's apartment, where police spoke with Snyder and began a search of the apartment and surrounding area. Later that day, pajama bottoms and a diaper belonging to John Snyder Jr. was located along Willow Creek in Mason City. On July 21st, 1994, at approximately 9:56 a.m., the body of John Joseph Snyder Jr. was found in Willow Creek, just east of the Pennsylvania Avenue Bridge here in Mason City. An autopsy was performed by the State Medical Examiner's Office. It was determined at that time that the cause of death was drowning and a crushing skull injury. The manner of death was ruled a homicide. In 1994, DNA analysis was not done on the evidence collected in this case, as the technology was not yet available. But on December 2nd, 2002, the Mason City Police Department was able to submit the evidence associated with this case and obtain a DNA analysis. These results were retained as part of the case file. On December 19th, 2012, a man by the name of Michael Jason Cisneros was transported to Oakdale Medical and Classification Center in Coralville, Iowa. Per Iowa regulations, as a convicted felon, Cisneros was required to submit a DNA sample to the Iowa Department of Criminal Investigation lab for entry into the DNA database, otherwise known as CODIS. On January 30th, 2013, a search of this CODIS DNA database revealed a match between the DNA sample submitted by Michael Cisneros and the profile taken from the evidence submitted in the December of 2002, namely the John Snyder Jr.'s pajama bottoms. This past Friday, July 12th, an arrest warrant was issued for Cisneros, charging him with first-degree murder involving the death of John Joseph Snyder Jr. Cisneros is currently in custody and being transported to the Cerro Gordo County Jail. I would like to, at this point, to introduce you to DCI Special Agent Mike Kraftful, who is going to explain a little bit about the CODIS system and the process that DNA goes through as part of being entered into this database. Agent Kraftful.
Thank you, Chief. As Chief Lashbrook mentioned, convicted felons in the state of Iowa, when they enter the Iowa correctional facilities, are required to submit a DNA sample. That sample is then submitted to the Iowa Division of Criminalistics laboratory, where a profile is developed, and it's entered into CODIS, into the offender database. That DNA profile is then constantly compared to the forensic database that contains samples from crime scenes, and in the hopes that a match will eventually occur, as it did in this case. Upon receiving that match, the DCI Criminalistics Laboratory notifies the agency that submitted the evidence, in this case the Mason City Police Department, and the Mason City Police Department initiates an investigation based on that evidence, and they conduct other interviews and follow up on other investigative leads to further the case. In the state of Iowa, all convicted felons are required to submit that DNA sample. Next year, in 2014. We will now be collecting DNA samples from people who are convicted of aggravated misdemeanors as well.
Cisneros, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the hardworking, dedicated officers, many of whom have retired at this time, for their determination and diligence on this case. Was it not for their hard work back in 1994 and since, it would not be possible to bring justice for this little boy. And at this time, too, I would like to say that our thoughts and prayers go out to the Snyder family. I know this is something that has been a big part of their lives for the past 19 years, too, and hopefully there will be some closure related to this arrest and subsequent trial to come. I'd also like to add in closing that we are not taking questions at this time, but as with any case that we investigate, if you or have any information relating to this investigation, we certainly would like you to contact the Mason City Police Department.